Jackass is one of the most recognizable comedy franchises in American culture today. Jackass started as a television series for MTV, running 3 seasons in 2000 and 2001, with reruns continuing into 2002. After the series ended, Jackass would return with a movie, Jackass the Movie, which would earn over $60 million in the process. An additional 6 movies were created, including 3 more Jackass films and 3 documentary films covering the creation of Jackass 2, 3, and 4 respectively. And that count doesn't even include any spin-off series and other specials released by Jackass. So, it goes without saying that a series responsible for so much content would itself have several cases of lost media. So today, we're going to go through 5 of the most notable cases of Jackass lost media. So buckle up as we look back on all of the lost jackassery, and remember, don't try this at home. Starting off with a very well-known case of Jackass lost media is Don Vito in Jackass 2. Don Vito is the uncle of Bam Margera and is best known for his part in Viva La Bam as one of Bam's main prank victims. Bam and friends would consistently mess with Vito, sending him into gibberish-littered tirades. However, even though he was usually the victim of Bam's pranks, Don Vito was one of the most popular characters to come out of Viva La Bam. So, it isn't surprising that Don Vito was set to be included in the second installment of Jackass movies. Don Vito would shoot several stunts with the Jackass crew, however, shortly before the movie's release, Vito was arrested for allegedly touching 2 12-year-old girls inappropriately. These accusations against Vito would result in all footage that included him being removed from the movie. There are 2 separate stunts that included Vito that are known, one of which is the human pendulum, which saw 5 people strung up like a Newton's cradle with Vito on the end. Vito was then lifted into the air and dropped into the other 4 members, like the balls of a Newton's cradle. Other than these pictures on screen, nothing else has ever been shown from this stunt. The second stunt, and the one that is better known, is the original Lamborghini tooth pull. Vito sat in a dentist chair with a rope attached to his tooth, and the other end of the rope attached to Bam's Lamborghini. Bam would then speed off, yanking the tooth out of his mouth. This clip was teased in the official trailer for Jackass 2. However, this is the only footage we have ever seen of this stunt. Audio from this stunt can be found on the official soundtrack for Jackass 2.
Your teeth look like a whore's toenails.
Additionally, cameraman Joe France, who worked on Jackass and Viva La Bam, released a video announcing he would finally release the lost stunt on his YouTube channel. However, this was over 10 years ago, and the full stunt is yet to be uploaded. The only other media for this stunt comes from JackassMovie.com, which shows Vito handling the tooth.
They gave me Vicodin, but that's still just the blood. I just ripped the whole root out and everything.
Didn't have no cavities?
No, it was good. It would have lasted another 10 years. It was in there pretty good.
France actually owns the tooth from that scene, which he revealed via Twitter and even included a picture of the framed memorabilia. Ultimately, the scene was later redone in Jackass 3 by Aaron McGehee, but maybe someday the world will be able to see the original. Honestly, I wouldn't hold my breath though. Going back to the original television series for Jackass, one skit showed off the Jackass crew spending the day on a music video set for none other than the basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal. That's right, Shaq was a rapper, remember that? Shaq's song Psycho was set to include the Jackass cast partying and doing stunts with Shaq included. The bit shows SteveO jumping into a porta potty, Wee Man picking up Shaq, and even SteveO hitting Shaq with a candy glass bottle full of urine. Alas, the music video never actually came out. SteveO would even write about this day in his memoir, Professional Idiot.
Shaq was a fan of the show and wanted us in his new rap video, so we showed up and spent the day goofing around with him. To his credit, he was game for our antics. Well, sort of. I broke a candy glass bottle filled with fake piss on his head. He wrestled with everyone and spent quite a lot of the day dry humping Wee Man.
Maybe one day we can finally see this video, but maybe we're better off forgetting Shaq ever rapped at all. And while we're at it, let's forget Shaq Fu too. In 2002, Jackass threw a promotional event, which was a town hall meeting that included members of the Jackass crew and angry members of the public voicing their opinion of the Jackass show. This meeting took place in April of 2002 and happened at Hollywood High School in Los Angeles, California. The event was most likely to promote Jackass the movie, however, I couldn't confirm this fact anywhere online. One of the on-set extras, a woman by the name of Wendy Linden, was supposedly giving a speech about the dangers of a show like Jackass. However, partway through her speech, Dave England had some sort of switch flip in his head, causing him to full speed catapult himself into the lectern which Linden was standing behind. The jump would result in Linden falling to the cement floor, which hurt her considerably. To make matters even worse, Linden's son was present during the incident and had to witness the whole thing. As a result of the cannonball, Linden alleged that she had to have surgery and promptly sued Viacom over the incident. It's unknown what came of this lawsuit, but one thing that was released to the public is the handwritten letter from Dave England. In the letter, Dave addresses Linden and apologizes for his actions. This letter is as follows.
Dear Mrs. Linden, I would like to begin this letter by sincerely apologizing for my inexcusable and uncalled for behavior Sunday, April 21st at the town hall meeting. Since then, I have been consumed by feelings of shame, humiliation, and guilt. I feel so terrible that I affected your life in such a negative and hurtful manner. Although I realize my conduct was, to say the least, in poor judgment, I honestly had no intentions of harming you at all. In fact, until this point in my life, I've considered myself to be a decent person and highly respectful of others. I also would like to commend your son on his extraordinary ability to exercise physical restraint. He had every right to give me a severe beating, but somehow managed to keep his cool. I appreciate this and would like to extend an additional apology to him for having to witness such a disturbing incident happen to his mother. As a result of my actions that Sunday, I have lost considerate respect and faith for my coworkers and superiors. Frankly, I've been having a hard time just living with myself. I wish there was some way to go back in time and take on the role of a responsible human being instead of a reckless animal. Obviously, this is not an option. So instead, I have chosen to write you this letter in hopes that it somehow helps you to deal with this offensive, ugly situation I have brought upon your life. I hope you were able to make a speedy and full recovery, and again, I am very sorry. Sincerely, Dave England. P.S. I hope you have a great Mother's Day.
Footage of this event does exist, as it was a promotional Jackass event. If you know anything else about this event, please comment below, as this is definitely at the bottom of a hypothetical Jackass iceberg. And now for a case of once lost Jackass media becoming found. We have Jackass Too Hot for MTV. During the build-up for Jackass the movie, MTV was set to air 3 separate Jackass specials. One of these specials was Jackass Too Hot for MTV, which featured stunts and other clips that pushed the boundaries of what could be shown on television and would give fans an idea of what to expect from an R-rated Jackass movie. The special was slated to air on August 9th, 2002, but never saw an official airing due to political pressure. At this time, Senator Joseph Lieberman spoke out against the show, urging MTV to air Jackass at later times. This pressure changed how MTV approached Jackass and ultimately killed any chance of this special ever releasing. This pressure would also cause the special to never see an official release on home media. However, rumors of an uncensored special being released to friends of the show on VHS tapes started to make the rounds, and were later confirmed when it was discovered that Jen Moore, the personal assistant of SteveO from 2001 to 2011, owned a copy herself. According to this Reddit post, Jen actually created this petition for MTV to release the Too Hot for MTV tape. And another interesting piece of information is the petition included a link to a now defunct Johnny Knoxville fan page from the early 2000s. This page featured stills from the official Too Hot for MTV tape. Amongst all of these stunts, the most notable included SteveO's original stilt stunt, the Vomlet, and Johnny Knoxville's gun self-defense test. According to that petition, the webmaster of the website actually received the tape from Johnny Knoxville himself. The only other person who was confirmed to own a copy at this time was filmmaker and actor John Waters, who starred in a classic bit from Jackass No. 2. In an interview, he stated, "Johnny gave me Too Hot for Jackass, which is the stuff they wouldn't let him run on TV, and whoa, you ought to see that." This special would end up becoming a fairy tale, and with no word from MTV, most people lost hope in the possibility of ever seeing Jackass Too Hot for MTV. However, on August 15th, 2021, YouTube user Sloan's TV Archive randomly uploaded the full uncensored tape to their channel. The video was completely uncensored and complete with a unique intro, 36 minutes of uncensored stunts, and this final page that says it was not meant for broadcast or reproduction. The video was eventually removed from their page, but can still be found with a simple Google search. If you're too afraid to watch it yourself though, I have recorded a full episode of Spoiler Alert covering every single thing you'll see in the Too Hot for MTV tape. Link in description. Still, it's unknown how Sloan's TV Archive got the tape in the first place, as it most likely came from someone who was or is a personal friend of Johnny Knoxville. Finishing with what is easily the most recognizable case of Jackass lost media, Jackass original member Bam Margera was arguably the most popular member after Johnny Knoxville. However, well-documented personal issues between Bam and the Jackass crew would cause him to not be included in the 4th cinematic installment of Jackass. This news came as a shock to many fans, as it was reported that filming for Jackass had already started taking place. Fans began speculating if Bam would be in the movie at all, and when the movie came out, he was. However, this came in the form of a blink-and-you-miss-it stunt that included several members jumping onto a treadmill in full marching band attire. He can also be heard very briefly in other clips.
Look at that pee-stained one right there. Ooh, dude.
But it's very clear that the Jackass team tried their best to cut out Bam as much as they could. Which begs the question, just how much of Bam did they actually cut? We do know of one missing stunt, with information coming from a Bam Margera cameo. Cameo is a website where you can pay your favorite celebrities for personalized video, and the skit he's talking about sounds a lot like Silence of the Lambs.
The first day on the fucking set, they dump snakes on me in pitch black night vision. So the worst is over. I'm actually relieved that it's done because I was stressing. I knew that they were going to throw snakes on me at some point, and it happened right away. So, yeah, let's see what they have in store for me now. Rock and roll.
Lord only knows how much or how little Bam footage that we actually missed. Hopefully someday we will see this footage, and even more importantly, hopefully we will one day see Bam with the Jackass crew in some capacity. I tried my very best to give you guys the most accurate information. However, some of it was difficult due to a very limited number of sources. If you yourself have any more information on anything I talked about, or if you know of other cases of Jackass lost media, please leave a comment below, as I might make a part 2 to this. And until next time, I guess this is it. I really suck at goodbyes. That's what a sneeze sounds like when you're recording.